nobody that had no fun.
I want people to have fun within reason.
This show ain't about fun. I don't like
it. Every time you come on here, you have the time of your life. So I feel like you shouldn't spread those lies.
Those lies, yes.
Yes, because anytime you have been on the show, you have had the time of your life.
The absolute time of my life. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll roll
every single time. Anytime you come on the show, you always like, man, we're gonna do this again.
We're gonna do this again. Exactly.
We gotta make sure we do this again.
Right. I hear you. I feel you.
No, I saw that that tickets going to Detroit dropped down to 25 cents for 2 tickets. So I was thinking like, I could fly into Michigan. That'd be all right. Does Detroit have its own airport?
Yeah, it's not in Detroit. It's in Romulus, though.
So Detroit does not have its own airport.
I mean, it's still DT.
No,
still it's in Detroit. It's still Detroit, but it's just It's right outside of Detroit.
No.
Yeah, it's right outside of Detroit.
So Detroit does not. If the airport is not in Detroit.
We have a smaller one too. It's like on the east side.
So you guys have the small one,
and then we have
a regular sized airport is just outside the city.
Yeah, it's just outside the city. Yeah.
So Detroit does not have its own air. I just want to establish this and be clear.
Oh my goodness, man! Every time
it does not have its own airport.
Everybody who comes on here, they're not from the city that you're from. Like, do you disrespect everybody's city like that, or just mine?
I pick and choose.
It's just me. I get it.
I pick and choose. Because I can have a lot to say, but I feel like anytime I talk to somebody from no, it's mostly. I think it's just you. I think it's you in general. I don't think it's Detroit necessarily. I think it's just you.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take those.
Personally speaking, I think it's just you.
I'll take those bars. That's all good.
But I feel like now the tickets have gone down dramatically. Like I feel like if I buy those tickets, I might be like helping fly the plane, and I don't have my pilot's license.
No, nobody helps fly the plane. It's normal business as usual for Detroit. It is.
Because the airport is outside of Detroit. Got it. Okay. If it was in Detroit, we'd be in trouble. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was thinking about flying out there just to be like, oh snap, I made it to Michigan, but it's cold.
It's very cold. It snowed. It snowed. I almost bust my tail off the steps.
I need you to do better because you grew up there. So
I know, but I put salt everywhere, like where, on the sidewalk and everything, but I forgot to put salt on the actual steps. So I was like, whoa. I was like, to put salt on the steps.
How did you forget the steps? The steps are like the first thing.
Because I grabbed the salt, and then I just, I started going backward from the walkway up to the steps, and I just didn't do it. And then when I went back, it wasn't snow on it. Everything was like, it was still soft and snow, and it wasn't any ice. And then it froze over because
it tricked you. Never trust the powder.
No, you never trust. Right, of course not.
Hi, Janai. Welcome. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Take a Space Podcast Recap. We are here with Mike Perkins of Oro Podcast, Our Opinions Alike Podcast, and my punk ass podcast. You have 2, right? Is it 2?
Yep, 2.
Okay, so yeah. So he was our guest co-host this week, and we talked about taking a step back to move forward. Hey, Honey T, how you doing?
Honey T.
Yeah, it's my older sister.
Yeah.
So the icebreaker that we're gonna start off with is, I'm interested because at first I was gonna use music, but we've talked about music previously. So what is the latest show that you've binged?
The latest,
like you watched it start to finish.
Start to finish. Wow. So it was Black Ink Harlem, the first one. Black Ink.
Oh, on
Uh,
125th. Yeah.
yeah. I watched that from start to finish. I was mad, but I was off from work when I did it. I was off
How
from
long
work.
did it take you to get through it? How many seasons are there?
There's literally 2. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, the original Black Ink.
No. It's more than 2. It's actually more than 2. So they went all the way up until the girl and the guy, the main girl and the guy broke up, and then they got
That
back
was
together.
like season 3 or 4.
No, that was 2. That was 2. Because they used to just stop the show. They would just stop the show for like 2 weeks and then just not come back until.
That's right, because they have micro seasons.
Yeah, so it was just all season 2. It was a lot of episodes though, and they were all 45 minutes. So I mean, but I was off from work, and yeah, so I decided to do that. I don't know what made me do it, but I watched it. Yeah, they put some Ratchet on Netflix, so I just watched it. So
wait, it's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It was at least on Netflix. I don't know if it's on there still, but it was on Netflix.
I don't know if I would use my time to watch that.
It took me probably like a day or 2 days, but not like consecutive. Like I could have watched it in one day, but it was horrible. I shouldn't have really been watching it.
Okay. Let's see. Janae says she's watched Living Single, Sister, Hey Really TT, and she's currently watching 101. Living Single start to finish is such a good watch. I haven't seen Sister recently, so I don't know if it holds up. I saw the first 2 episodes recently.
My niece watches that, and it's funny, like when you see the kids of this generation watching your stuff from when you was little.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and they're like into it. It's like, oh yeah, I really like it. And my sons were like sitting down watching it too. It's just like, all right, you know what I'm saying. Like my sons, what they used to do, they would turn it to regular TV just to watch Bernie Mac.
See, and the kids, so my niece and nephews watch Bernie Mac, and they watch Martin, and they watch all the 90s shows that we used to watch. They watch that now, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's cool to me too. And Everybody Hates Chris. My kids watch that too.
I don't know if they watch that because I wasn't really. I know some of my siblings watch that, but I don't think that I was really into TV. No. I was more. When did Everybody Hates Chris come out? I feel like that was around the time that I was like in the height of CSI and Law and Order. So those were like my shows that I watched.
Yeah, that wasn't. But that show wasn't when I was a kid. But they liked the show actually because the main character, he had another show where he was rapping, and they
really?
Yeah, they liked him from that show. And he got to be older. He got to be an older guy. They like let him grow a mustache and everything. And even the guy who was his brother was actually in the show as well. At least I think he was. So both of them were actually in the show. But
the guy who played Drew.
The guy who played Drew.
Oh, okay.
As far as I remember. And then they're both in there. And then the guy who plays Chris, he was like a rapper, and he was like very like he was the man. As opposed to being in Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, so they watched that because they saw him in that, and then they were like, "Oh, he's in Everybody Hates Chris." I'm like, "No, he's not in Everybody Hates Chris. He's Everybody Hates Chris, and he's in that whatever crap, that they were watching." But it was their stuff, and it was like one show. It wasn't like a I think it was like a short movie or something like that, or maybe like an hour movie. But they would just watch it over and over again. But then they started
more projects than Everybody Hates Chris, but I think that people just see Everybody Hates Chris and just like, oh, that's the kid from Everybody Hates Chris, and it's like, no, he did way more stuff before that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. Like you can't. I mean, sometimes it's cool to be a character. It's like if you're, you know what I'm saying, if you're Ghost, or if you're, you know what I'm saying, any other, like if even Pam, because Pam was in there, but she's Pam to me. She's Tashina Arnold, but she's Pam to me. You know,
like no, like Alfonso Ribeiro would always be Carlton.
Why would he even do anything else? He's doing very well in those. I mean, they haven't got any new ones, but the State Farm commercials, he's doing excellent. You know what I'm saying?
I have not seen him in the State Farm commercials.
What?
I don't watch commercials. I try to skip ads as much as I pay premium prices, so I don't have to watch ads.
I mean, they're like if you ever go to regular TV, they just there.
Nah. That's the point of paying for streaming. Is I don't have to watch regular TV.
And when you watch, because you're talking about appointment TV, I watch basketball, so it's always on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I watch appointment TV, which is basketball, that's the only appointment TV I watch. So yeah, it's on there all the time. So you can't really escape it because Chris Paul is actually in there. You know what I'm saying? In there, and he plays basketball, of course. So yeah, so you can't really escape it.
I know that name. Don't know who he is, but I know that name.
He's a very good point guard.
Hey, Kayla.
Hey, Kayla.
Kayla says that she has been Superstore and Living Single. I'm still behind like a whole season on Superstore. But I'm good with Living Single. You started LA Finest with Gabrielle Union. I don't know what that show is. I don't. Gabrielle Union acts similar to Kerry Washington, and they act with just this part of their face.
Hey, what I'm not gonna let you do.
Right
me, Kerry Washington is look. All right.
Like they use just this part to
look, man. Kerry Washington she's off limits.
She's not. We've established this months ago. She is absolutely not off limits.
She's off limits. I think me and Baylor have established that she's off limits.
No, she absolutely no. Baylor was the one posting. He was the one posting all these crazy pictures.
No, he was telling her. He was saying that she's off limits.
No,
she's off limits.
No. I finished. Oh, you're talking about Sister. No, or Living Single. Oh, you finished Living Single when Netflix came on. Listen, when it came on Netflix.
Oh, Living Single is on.
Yeah, Sister 101 Moesha, which Moesha does not hold up. When you watch Moesha now, you're watching it as a parent, and it does not hold up.
A lot of that stuff doesn't hold up. Like
it just does not. No, but I feel like Girlfriend still holds up. Living Single still holds up.
Yeah, Living Single still holds up. I don't know about Girlfriends, man. Girlfriends, it seems really like a lot of that stuff seems really contrived. Like the episode that sticks out to me is the one where old girl's half sister who's all the way white, and then her half sister, well, she's half white, and then her half sister is all the way white, and she was singing a Jay-Z song, and she said the N words in the song.
Okay, what I should say is in the middle, because in the beginning they were still figuring some stuff out, and at the end it just kind of start falling off. But in the middle,
they made John be with corny dude. Like it was just like
he's a safe guy. He's the safe guy.
Yeah, and he'll wait 3 months. He'll wait 3 months.
He's a safe guy.
Yeah,
and Girlfriends too. See, and Girlfriends too.
Yeah.
Tamara, have you been cooking really, TT, since you've been watching these cooking shows? Or are you just watching them to like watch cooking shows? Is the question.
Is TT, is that a sister too?
That's the same. That Honey T and really TT are the same person.
Why is she doing that?
She's getting my views up. This is what she does. Let her be great. Let her get my views up. She's good.
I follow both of those.
I'm still behind on SVU. SVU is like 20 years in. You are not going to catch up.
Right. You're not.
But Stabler and Benson are coming back. Our Stabler's coming back, and Stabler and Benson have a new show. Mm-hmm. And so, because Mariska, I forgot her last name, the one who plays Benson, she posted a picture with Chris Maloney, the one who plays Stabler, and they're coming out with a new show. So I'm like, so excited. Janai says Moesha needed a whooping, and from when we were kids, we would look at it and sympathize with her, but as adults, nah.
No.
She was out here wilding.
But she was out here wilding in real life, though.
I was like, why?
She was out here wilding in real life. So, yeah, Brandy.
No, I don't know about the whole special that she had about the special delivery, her giving birth and being fake married and all this. It was all pageantry, and I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, well, that's part of it. That's part of it.
Why are we doing this? I've been throwing everyone on one pan. Oh, throwing everything in one pan and throwing it in the oven lately. So listen.
Is that cooking?
It's not. Every dish that you make should not be a one pot dish. You should have a variety of things.
You should. Do you cook? Do you cook like that?
No, I don't cook like that.
Well, then let her live.
I'm trying to think of a one pot dish that I would make. No, because I have multiple things. Because even if it's pasta, I need 2 pans.
Yeah.
Or one skillet, one pot.
I know. I did today. I just did stir fry.
Ew. Do you use a wok or use a skillet?
Skillet.
Yeah. Most people do.
Yeah.
So this episode, we talked about the experiences that we've had and taking a step back to move forward. There was a lot going on in this episode, and I feel like we talked in great detail about the importance of taking a step back, especially when you're living outside your means financially, like that's a majority of us need to go ahead and just just get more responsible with our spending, get more responsible with what we're doing, and that way we can actually progress forward. So question is, when is it necessary, or when have you found it necessary to take a step back? And I know we talked about financially in your aspect, and then we also talked about mental health for a little bit and relationships, and take a step back so we don't harbor ill feelings and things like that. But for those who have not heard the episode yet, you could talk about either one of those experiences.
I mean, with the financial part was just it was just simply I had too much debt going on and not a plan to get out of it. So instead of remaining in debt and not having a plan, I started budgeting, cut back on a lot of spending, and just made sure I was just planning it out. And I had to take a step back. I had to stop doing certain things that that maybe people, I didn't go on a lot of trips, or any for that matter. I didn't go anywhere, didn't do a lot of eating out, didn't do a lot of I got rid of credit cards. I got rid of, student loans. I got rid of car payments. Just got rid of everything. I got rid of a house. Got rid of everything. And
you're like, no, I don't need that.
And just took a step back. And now I can, comfortably take steps forward. And anything that I have is just my own. And I have it righteously. It's not like I'm holding on to it for dear life. It's like, I have it. I don't have to worry about it no more. I've automated everything, from my savings, and automated my investing. I've automated, all my bills. It's almost like everything's on autopilot now. And I just don't have to worry about the financial part about it, which is just wonderful. It's just like a big load off of me. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel more of an adult than I've ever felt. So it's great. It's great stuff.
I have to splurge. I feel this need to just splurge. I have to splurge. I try not to. I really do. I try not to, but I'm better than I was before, which is 1% improvement every day is what we strive for.
Yeah.
So
1%. That wasn't a judgy face. I'm sorry.
I feel like it was, but improvement is improvement, and I feel like because I'm improving and moving forward, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
As long as you're doing that. And then even with the financial part, it's tough because you'll have people around you that are not necessarily doing that. They're not a part of your journey. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard to even date doing that.
I think it can be hard to date doing that if you are looking to be with someone who is outside of your, like, that's a part of your budgeting, right? So if you're looking to be with someone who's outside of your means, you know that okay, you're not going on any extravagant trips on every 3 weeks. You're not you don't have, $300 in splurge money every month, or you're not expecting to spend X amount on frivolous things. So a person who goes and gets their hair and nails done and takes a trip, every 3 weeks is going to be outside of your budget, not just emotionally or mentally, but financially, especially if you're in a position to try to want to take care of that person.
Yeah, and or sometimes it's not even that. It's just they're like what is that? They're condescending about what you're doing. Like, I wouldn't want to go outside your budget, like that kind of thing. That's even just
are we like, is that
I've had
no conversation at that point.
I've had that happen, and I just didn't. I took it until they just, until it got, like, yeah, get on, get out.
I think on the flip side, though, I've heard, and I'm not at all. I'm very, very low key person mostly. Like, but I do take trips a lot. But hearing
I hear
guys talk about like high maintenance and just like, oh, well, you're a lot, and it's like, well, I take care of myself. I'm not expecting you to chip in on this because I was doing this before you got here. Yeah, so,
but I mean, like, it's a natural inclination for a guy to any financial burden to equate that into what it is that he's going to be bringing to the.
Well, a different conversation would be, hey, let's talk about future planning first. Don't just come in and assume that you're going to take over financial responsibility, right? Like, it would be more feasible to just like, hey, let's have a conversation about what this looks like. I feel like as we progress in the relationship, I want to do more to start taking care of you. What would be our future financial goals in that? And then we can have the conversation from there. But just to assume as the man in the relationship that you're just going to come and like bogart my finances, no, doesn't happen. Let's have a conversation about what that looks like, because I may not even want that. I mean, I do, because I don't want to pay these bills anymore. Let's just be honest. I want to be clear. I'm just looking at both sides of the coin now.
And it comes out. It eventually comes out.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at both sides of the coin, but I would still want that respect of, let's have a conversation about what our goals to be, if we are what we want our goals to be as a partnership, and not just you saying, well, I've been doing this way for X amount of time and you should get on board with me. It's like, yeah, I understand where you're going, but I still like to travel. So
all right then.
Let's have a conversation about it, as opposed to you telling me I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that'd be the thing for me. Just to tell her she can't go anywhere.
Like, that's why you're still in Detroit. Got it. Okay.
Right. Still in Detroit. That old thing, right? That old thing.
Detroit's getting their own airport pretty soon. It's coming. Janai says, when you realize the situation is causing a negative change in you, or you develop some bad habits. Oh, yes. Yeah. I feel like that is absolutely a good time to take a step back.
Yeah, I feel like too, like some people who make a lot of money, like, because money is never the issue. It's always really like habits.
Right.
So a young lady I dated, she made, lots of money, but she had lots and lots of debt, and she was just paying little minimum payments on it. And it was like, oh, right. Oh, you, that's so cute that you are.
That's so cute.
That's so cute.
Better managers of our money.
Right. You think you're doing so much with that little minimum payment there. Oh, but I was just like, you gotta pay some of this nonsense off. And you can't just, but she didn't see a need to do it.
She wasn't ready. Yeah.
She made a lot of money. I'm like, ugh, you might want to handle all of that, but whatever. But I don't know what I never know what I'm talking about. So I just
whatever. Moving on.
I always know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Splurging every month. Listen, it's like a reward. Okay. I pay my bills and I'm like, look, I'm having lumpia. I am lumpia. Filipino food. It's like a Filipino version of an egg roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
It's delicious. It's so delicious. But yes, I do splurge every month. Not all the time, and it's not always hundreds and hundreds of dollars. My splurging could be like I bought a keychain, or I bought a new wine glass, or hey, there's a sale coming up and I've met my goals this month. Let me go ahead and get some clothes from this sale. That's really what it is. Like I have to work to be able to splurge. And if I miss the sale and don't hit my goals, then no, I don't get to splurge. Yes, every month, TT. That's exactly what it is. Janai says, make up your mind. Listen, I have always said, I do want my independence, but I also want to be taken care of. Just have a conversation with me. That's it. Just have a conversation so we can see what that looks like.
Nobody's taking care of you and letting you be independent at the same time.
Listen, we can have a conversation and negotiate where I can be independent and where I can be taken care of, so we know what that looks like. That's what I want, and not the illusion of independence. Just like authentic independence.
You don't. That's the thing. It's like independence is not like I don't see. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. There's no two versions of independence. I'll put it like that.
No, that's what I said. There's parts where you can be more independent, and I feel like when you're in a partnership, you should be working together anyway to have both people moving in the same direction. Otherwise, you'll be fighting against each other like the entire relationship. But I think my thing is more so being included in decisions as opposed to decisions being made without me having a say. That's where I say that's what I'm talking about with. I think it's more me having my voice as opposed to I shouldn't say independence, because that's not really what it is. It's just me having my voice and having a conversation about what steps are being taken to reach whatever the goal is. That's what I mean. That's a better explanation of what I'm saying.
Are you the kind of person that as soon as stuff mess up, you blame it on a guy and say, be a man.
No, because if we made the decision together to go ahead and do this and you execute it, it was our decision to make this to make this thing or to do this thing. And if we've gone in the wrong direction, okay, all right, let's reset, figure out what we need to do. How can we reset? How can we be better? But for me to say this is all on you, then that makes you harbor ill feelings toward me. Like you have to constantly be in a defensive mode, and then you start not trusting me, and then it becomes like this whole snowball effect. But if I am showing you that I trust you and that I hold myself accountable in the decision-making process as well, then I feel like the two of us should be able to say, look, we made this decision. It didn't really work out. How can we do something better the next go round? That's how I feel about it. But I'm definitely an I told you so person. If I told you not to do something and you go do it and it messes up, I'm definitely that person. But I am not the person that'd be like, you the man, go ahead, handle it. You the man, go ahead, do this, take care of this.
That was that be a man. That was a Living Single reference.
Yeah.
Be a man, Cal. Be a man.
Kyle Barker. Oh man. Janai says a reward and splurging are two different things in my dictionary. I splurge on my rewards, is what I'll say. That's my response on that.
Yeah, but like when you have a budget though, it's not even like it's splurging. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
it's like, okay, so I have a loose leaf budget. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Sheesh, man. I keep
Listen,
telling you get an app. Like it's just
why?
easier.
It's look, okay. I tried the app, but it's like the money's imaginary anyway. So to make it more real, I have to put it on paper and actually write it out. When I spend an hour and a half every month budgeting my money of where it goes, earmarking every dollar, then it makes me have to know where I can put this money. So
but see the thing is, at least with the app I use, what's so great about it is that if something does happen, you could always move things around because it's just it's digital. It's an app, so you can always just move stuff around, but you kind of don't want to. And two, everything for me is automated, so anything that I'm putting into savings or it's all automated, so I don't even have to think about it. Whatever left over, I can just spend. Literally, whatever's left over, I can kind of just spend. You know what I'm saying? With the exception, with the exception of like grocery money. But grocery money, sometimes I take out just completely. I just take out the account and just have it just like in my wallet or something. Or
that's what I do with my splurge money. It comes out like I take it cash out so that I can have, because money for whatever reason. And hey, boss lady Denise, I saw your comment and I wanted to make sure I shout you out before we get like into the comments. But I feel like since money, we're using debit cards, we're not using cash. So it's nothing if we swipe a card. We see the amount, we swipe a card, we assume, oh, we kind of have an idea of the amount of money we have. But if we spend cash, we know exactly how much we have and how much we're getting back. Like breaking that 100 or breaking that 20 or even breaking that 5 will make me know, hey, getting down to my last, I don't have a lot. But taking the money out helps me to taking the money out to splurge, and then also handwriting it makes money more real. So when I'm paying down my loans or paying down whatever else I have or taking care of expenses, it's not this imaginary resource that I'm using that I know is limited, but I'm not really sure how much of it that I have. Like it's not just numbers in an app. Like it's real to me. So I have to make it as real as possible so I can stay as grounded on my budget that is kind of loosely as I can be. But if it's just digital and everything is automated, it doesn't make me focus on financial goals that I have.
Yeah, and they also too, they say you spend 20% more when you're using plastic anyway. Yeah. So anything digital, whatever, you spend 20% more, and that's if you're using a debit card or a credit card. Yeah. So that's why it's easy to get. It's easy to get away, with all of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. You spend way more. It's like when you have $20 and you have to break it to buy this thing, you're going to try to get it for the cheapest price possible.
All right.
As opposed to having $20 on your debit card, and it's like, well, the thing costs $15, but I can add so and so and so and so. Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and spend all this money.
Yeah, I too though, but like I said, the reason I like everything digital and automated is because I hate having to think about stuff. I just hate it. Yeah,
I have free time, so
yeah, I don't even really, because really, as much as I like what money affords you, I don't really even like money like that. I like what money.
Live in Detroit.
It's not about Detroit living. That's just about like as a person. I just don't like money like that.
I'm just saying.
I just don't, man. Like working with money as much as I did. Yeah. Oh no. That was
oh, he just said it was living single. Was it Max? No, it was Max.
Yes,
was
Maxine.
It Max or Regine?
No, it was Maxine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maxine Waters, is that her name? Maxine
Shaw.
Maxine Shaw. Maxine Waters is somebody else that's a real person.
You're talking about Gina Waters? Oh, yeah. Maxine Waters is
a real person. That's a real person. Maxine Shaw.
Yes, yes, yes,
The Maverick. The Maverick.
yes.
That's what I'm talking about. The Maverick.
Hey, Shonda. That's my oldest sister.
Hey, older sister Shonda.
Yes, I am. Are you referring to me with the money or me in the relationship? I don't know which person you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree. Cash is different. Yeah, because you really, when you have cash, you're more mindful of it. And I need to make it real, like I said. Shonda says, yes, mindless spending is real. And especially when we're on Amazon and we just add stuff to the cart and then it shows up, it's just like, oh, I got stuff. But then you look at the account, ooh.
I do. I got stuff.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's this is really what it is.
Yeah, nah.
The I told you so person. Yes, I own that. I know that I am the I told you so person.
Yeah,
I'm not as bad as I used to be. I don't sing and dance about it.
You
but I'll
gotta
be like,
sing and dance.
so remember the conversation I had before you did this thing? Remember I told you that it wasn't gonna be a good idea to do this thing? I guess you did not believe that fat meat was greasy. Wow. But I'm glad you found out. Would you like a napkin?
Wow. Yeah. That's you're not the kind of person I want around me when I make mistakes.
Listen. But we can always readjust to see how we can make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's readjust to see how we can make it better. That's all. Yeah, that's all it is.
Like I keep telling you that this paper budget thing is not going to work.
It does work for me. If I have to handwrite out something, it makes me retain it more, as opposed to I tried the digital apps. I tried having I'll move the money here and I'll put the money here and da-da-da-da. Tried it. Doesn't work. The only thing that works is legitimately physically balancing my budget, like balancing my account at the end of the month, setting a budget at the beginning and balancing it at the end. That's the only thing that works for me, because then it makes me have to realize, like, I've spent too much money in this area. Let me go ahead and redirect myself, because then it's not something that's doing the thing that I needed to do. It's me readjusting. It's not, oh, well, let me set up an app to automate my savings. No, I need to know how to readjust my habits so that I can make a habit of saving. And that's why I like doing the paper route as opposed to
but savings, automating savings, like it makes it to where like taxes come out of your check. Yep. You know you got to pay them. I mean, you're not paying taxes. They take taxes. That's just what happens. But it doesn't. It leaves the emotion out of it when you can just do it that way. Because like you're saying, I need to feel it and I need to know, I need to this and that. But like taking the emotion out of it, sort of like you eventually just look at your account and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. You know, like it's everything is everything. I mean, or at least savings, for example. Because I don't know,
but savings is a part of like the whole picture. It's just one small part of the whole picture in the overall habit of spending. That's what savings is. But you're also talking as an analytical mathematician of sorts. So you and I are coming from different places as far as like spending. That's I mean
different things work for different people. It's all good.
You know, I try to be open to like what because I've seen some, you know, we still got mattress stuffers. We still have people who get cashier's checks every 3 years, come in, change them out, get another cashier's check. So people who do that, I mean, everybody has something that they think works.
Yeah, and those people get on my nerves.
Speaking of which, and I didn't know that was a thing until I worked in the branches and like a bunch of old people did that. And I was like, What are you doing? So that we don't have money in the what is it? So we don't have cash in the house. Okay, so you just get cashier's checks every 3 years? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, aren't you like? At first I'm like, are they kiting? Like, what are they doing? Like, they can't be kiting because it's a cashier's check. But like, what are they doing? Right. At first, I just thought they were doing something the first time I saw it, but then like, the branch manager let me know what they were doing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I
So
was
you
just
immediately thought fraud. You were like, yeah, they're trying to defraud the bank. Like, absolutely.
of course.
I don't know who you saw doing it first, but
it's because I was so new, and you see all of the videos about fraud, right?
Yeah, and they
So
make you suspicious of everybody. So
right. You're
yeah.
looking around at everything, and then you don't know anything. So everything is a fraud. Everything is fraud to you.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even actually have a fraud situation happen until probably like my third year. You know, I mean, because where I was working was so small, such a small city that it really wasn't, you know, like everybody kind of knows everybody. And then every now and again, you get some dude that comes from somewhere else that, you know, and he comes in and he tries to fraud the bank. But I hadn't had that happen until like my third year. So, and by that time I was super comfortable. So I was
I'm
like,
glad I worked in a bigger city then, because I got to see a lot of good fraud.
Well, I mean, if I was working in Detroit, because I wasn't in Detroit, if I was working in Detroit, it's probably fraud all day.
I didn't say it. I wasn't even going to go there. I was going to let you live. That was you who said that.
Of course.
But our last question of the night, as we wrap it up, what is the best investment that you have ever made? And it doesn't have to be financial. Wait, details. I want details on what? On frauding, or what kiting is?
What kiting is?
I'm trying to understand. How would you think that it was kiting if the check was more than likely at least 18 months old?
Yeah, about the fraud that I caught. About the fraud that I caught. A young lady came in with a check just under $5,000 and tried to deposit it into somebody's account that had no money in it, and she was very fidgety and super, you know, like she didn't look like she had $5,000, and of course she didn't have the person's information or nothing. She just had like the slip, and she just filled it out and then just was gonna deposit the check, you know, and it kind of got out of hand because she was clearly frauding, and so I think she got arrested that day. Pretty sure she got arrested that day, and yeah, that was it though. The depositing a fraudulent check, and I mean, it was pretty easy to pick out because it was just some young 19-year-old girl coming in who never comes in the bank, you know, and she was coming from the city outside of this. I mean, like this suburb, you know, and she just
not in that triangle where it makes sense. Yeah,
it is. And it wasn't in the order of like, yeah, it was just bad. And I felt so sorry for her because she had like a kid and everything. It was just like, it's like, well, wrong day to fraud. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, as if there's ever a day to fraud, but it was just bad. It was super bad.
Now, some people, I mean, these fraudsters get away with so much, and the banks are always playing catch up. Like, the banks are rarely ever ahead of the type of fraud that can be done because they won't have a they won't have a system or a team put in place until after it's happened.
Right. So they almost have to get away with it so many times.
Yes.
Because there's no way to be like, you're only reactive. You can't be proactive about a lot of this stuff. Like even with that ring of like the fraud checks or whatever, they were making them so the kid was supposed to throw you off. Exactly. The kid was supposed to throw me off, but it didn't because she left the kid in the car.
She left the kid in the car. It was all bad. I worked in the fraud department for about 3 years, and then now I work in money laundering and or anti-money laundering, I should say. I don't do
AML compliance.
AML compliance, exactly. That's what I do, and so I see so much fraud.
It's fun stuff, man.
I'm just like, how, like one person was able to get away with millions, millions by. I'm gonna be as vague as I can.
Do it.
So the government gives grants, right, for a lot of different things.
Yes.
This guy was able to capitalize on that in a major way. A couple of grants that the government gives, especially to business owners or new business owners, are for veterans and for immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
So he would sign, just like the people who do Uber, especially when Uber became really big. And if you were bringing, let's say you were from another country, or say if your family was coming in from another country and they needed work, you would sign them up for Uber and then take a percentage of theirs, right? Of whatever they made. You would take a percentage of that. That's essentially what this guy was doing with all of the fake businesses that were being started by immigrants and veterans.
Oh, wow.
He got millions.
Man.
But on a more, like, I think one of the biggest catches I think I had was 600, a little bit over 600,000, because this person had forged trust documents that showed that he was the sole trustee, and I think the person died. They were going to, no, was it the estate? I think it was the estate. The person died and they were going to do the disbursement. We were literally hours away from sending the check to him when we were like, none of this stuff matches up from what the original paperwork was.
Oh, wow.
And we were able to stop the check. And so the guy's calling like, hey, my check is supposed to be overnighted. How come I didn't get it? Yeah, you're going to have to call legal. Yeah, you're going to have to call legal.
Damn, man. Y'all almost get the money.
Like, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't match. These signatures don't match. People, I mean, there are romance scams, especially y'all doing this online dating.
The romance scams, that's the biggest one. This guy was sending
that is the scariest thing.
He was wiring this lady in China or something like that. He was wiring her hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, and when we kind of knew it was fraud, like I guess by the third lump sum, we kind of knew it was fraud.
Yeah.
But you had to do it because he was asking for it until eventually they caught up with it and was like, okay, this is fraud, and they had to shut his account down.
How old was he?
He was 70, like mid 70s.
Yeah, same. She was late 60s, and she's okay. This is why I say y'all need to ask questions. Okay. This lady met this guy online. He said that he was in Florida and he had a business. Something happened with the business, right? Something happened with the business. She needed to receive money from money from China, and then withdraw it in cash at the bank and then send it to Canada through Western Union.
Wow.
Tell me how that makes sense.
How that makes sense, trying to cover all her little tracks, man.
And she was like, no. And so we shut her, we closed 3 accounts for her. And finally we were like, we're not opening any new accounts anymore because I don't know what's happened to her, but the last we ever heard of her, her daughter had come into the branch with her. Her daughter is freaking out, shaking, crying because she knows her mother has been taken advantage of, but her mother is clearly in love with whoever is on this phone, right?
Oh, wow.
And she's like, she came back in 2 days later without her daughter and says that she wanted access to her money because she's leaving town to go to Florida to be with this guy. Never heard from her again.
Oh, wow. Oh, you never want to hear that.
Yeah. Don't know what happened. Don't know if she ever went, but she should have been committed. I was like, there's no way.
Right. Do you get the people who had the checks and they'll deposit the check into their account and then withdraw the amount so that they can give it to a person so that that person can then deposit some money into their account.
Yes.
So like a lady deposited a $2,500 check into her account and then withdrew $500, which is the limit on the ATM, and then gave it to the guy so that he can then deposit, you know what I'm saying, more money into her account.
Yeah.
And then the check came back fraud. She did it at a ATM. The check came back fraud. So now she has minus the check, minus another $500, and then she just had nothing. You know what I'm saying? And she says, where's my money at? She's calling us, where's my money at? I'm like, huh? Excuse me?
Those people, oh, especially when it's like when somebody's like, hey, can you cash this check for me? And it's like, hold on, why don't you have an account? No, I do, but if you do it, I can give you, like, I can spot you like a crazy amount, like $1,000 if you go ahead and cash this check out for me. And I'm just like, man, like finance is a wild world, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a wild world.
Yeah, messing with people's money is the stress. That's the stress.
Hey, Drake.
What up, though, Drake?
Hey, Rachel. But yeah, back to the question. Biggest
investment.
Oh, wait, hold on. Shonda said something first. Best investment was education and training. Yeah. That's a really good investment. Nobody can take that from you.
Yeah, best investment it for me is like better habits. Like of course my eating, of course my exercising, reading. I used like I mean it's not like I just didn't read anything, but I never read books that were kind of out of my real well, like it never out of my zone. Mm-hmm. And now I read books that are kind of out of my zone, and then you know, and of course I share them with my kids, which that's more fun than I thought it would be. And then that's like my thing. I just never thought that they would read the books. But they're good.
Dad doing it. Yes, I want to do what Dad's doing.
But they're good kids, and they'll just sit down if I ask them. That's the craziest thing in the world. Like they just sit down if I ask them to, and then they'll just do it, and then it's done, and it's just like okay. Especially my oldest. But that doing that because the fruit of it is that my kids now do it. So when I say hey let's run, they don't even complain. They just run. You know. That's I can't do anything with that. That's just the best. That's just the best.
Okay. Janae says somebody tried to get me by changing their number to my bank's number, so I thought it was my bank calling me to tell me about some fraudulent charges. Anytime you get a call and they say, "Hey, it's the bank," hang up the phone, call your bank. Hey, are there any notes on my account? I just got a call.
Yep.
Never continue the conversation. I don't care how sincere it sounds. Don't no.
I had fraud on my account. Whereas I'm an idiot, so I left my debit card. My debit card, it fell out of my pocket and it was in my car. And somebody broke into my car that day. Just the ridiculousness. And they broke into my car that day and took my debit card and then went to the gas station and got like 5 or 6 gift cards for $100, and they just got gift card after gift card after gift card after gift card. And then it happened like at 3:00 in the morning. So they contacted me, but they called me. They sent me a text message, and then they actually did call me. And it was like on a Sunday.
The bank has multiple ways to get a call, especially if you have the app.
Yeah,
they'll tell you like, hey, do you recognize these charges? Like off top. But gift cards, especially like
they got busy.
How were they able to get gift cards? I thought you can only maybe that's a Detroit thing though.
Yeah, it was well, they were in Michigan.
No. So okay, the question that I have, and I did not formulate it correctly. The question that I have, typically you cannot buy a gift card via credit. So how were they able to get multiple gift cards without having your PIN?
Because the gas station owner wanted the money. So they won't even check it. You know what I'm saying? They won't even check it because they didn't. I take that back. My wallet fell out of my pocket. They had my license too.
So you was just out here.
I was out here, son. I was out here like mud. But it was just that all happened like in one day, and I was just like, as soon as I saw that my car door was like open and everything, I was just like, oh, they got my. And then I checked my account. six gift cards, and they apparently got some food, and they just got busy. And then when the card stopped, when they actually like caught it and shut the card down, and they sent me all the text messages. Like I say, they sent me all of the transactions at like 3:00 in the morning, and then the end. You know, I got my money back, but they did actually call me. They called me on a Sunday, which is crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Rachel said that's the same thing that's happened to her. Somebody broke into my car and took all my cards as well. Dumb thing too. I left my purse in the car. Yeah. It happens. Be vigilant. Stay alert. Janae says the best investment, myself, my marriage, my family, education, and my home. Yeah, those are great investments.
The marriage part, though.
Great investments. You gotta make sure that you keep yourself centered. Make sure your marriage is strong.
Make sure your marriage
is great. You know,
make sure your marriage is strong.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you gotta take care of home.
Yeah.
Because if y'all beefing, this is gonna be a problem. Nothing's gonna get done.
Nothing's gonna get done. Right.
That, like I said, include me. We won't have to beef. Just let me be included on the decision making. Don't come in here and just bogart your way into my life.
What if that ain't what I want to do? What if I want?
You don't want me. That's just what it is.
What if that guy just wants to bogart? What if his name is Bogart?
He does not want me. Because I am very keen on communicating. If you do not want to communicate and you just want to bogart and do stuff, that's not what a partnership is. What if back all the way up and have a conversation about what partnership looks like?
What if he's communicating that he wants to bogart?
Then he's not for me. I'm communicating back. That does not work for me. If we're not going to communicate about decisions being made in a household we're building together for a relationship that we're both in.
Yeah, you're both in it. He just runs it.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I said, he does not want me.
Yeah, well.
I'm saying he does not want me. Compromise. Yes, a compromising is absolutely necessary. And I think that having conversations can help so that you don't have to compromise. But according to Mike, there's no such thing as compromise. It's a change in priorities.
Yeah,
Rachel said,
did I say that?
You did say that. We had a conversation about that. It was an argument about whether or not compromising is really compromising or if it's a change in priorities.
Oh, yeah, I must have been right. I don't remember it.
No, you were absolutely wrong. Some people are just not smart. They don't ask enough questions, Rachel, when it comes to fraudulent activity that happens on their account. So yes, I absolutely agree. Some people are just not well versed in that. Even if you don't know all the fraud terms or things about banking, I don't know why that came out as baking.
It did.
But
I was gonna let you live. I'm not like that.
Just ask questions or in the call and call your bank. That's it. Just be like, is this my bank? Oh, it's my bank. Okay, I'm gonna hang up and call back if there are no notes on my account or whatever, blah, blah. But you don't have to have an extended conversation with these people. Just either don't answer the phone or answer the phone. If they tell you that it's your bank, hang up, call your bank. And don't call the number they tell you, call the number on the back of your card.
Yeah. If they stole your card, then you can't do that.
Well, you can always look it up. I need you to elaborate on not compromising. No, he didn't say it was that's right. He said it wasn't. Okay, so I don't remember because we've had this conversation multiple times. I say when you're in a relationship, there are compromises that are made. Mike's point, and I'm trying to refresh your memory, so hopefully you'll jump in and remember.
I do remember now.
You remember now? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember. I said that in relationships, whereas two people are in sync, there's never a compromise. Like and I'm not talking about like marriage necessarily. I'm just talking about any relationship. In relationships, whereas two people are in sync, there's never a compromise. Because you're in a service business with a relationship based in love. So you're not necessarily compromising Like, I don't compromise for my kids. Like, anything I do for my kids, I want to do for my kids. You know what I mean? So I'm not compromising for them. Like, even staying up late with them. Like, I want to stay up late with them. Like, you know, and if I didn't, then I just wouldn't. You know, like, if I want to stay up late with them to help them with their homework or do a project, like, I want to make sure that they got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the priority is that for me. You know, so even if my eyes are falling out my skull, I still want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's not compromising for me. You know, if my brother asks me, hey, come and, you know what I'm saying, help me, you know, move, you know, of which that's happened 70 times. But it's just like,
First of all, don't talk about people moving a lot. Okay. It's just.
Oh, yeah. You. But for me, it's not a compromise for me because I always want to help my brother. Like, regardless, you know, so if he calls me, it's just like, well, you need me now? All right, cool. I'll be there in a second. Like, and it's never a compromise because you're when your relationship is based in love, you're in the service business. Compromise just means both people are going to be unhappy because neither one are going to get what they want.
And that's where we disagree. That's not how I see compromising. When you're compromised, the whole point of compromise is so that you both get what you want. I understand reprioritizing your goals or your wants and needs, or even shelving your needs to take care of someone else's. I understand that. I agree with those things because sometimes you do have to shelf your stuff and be like, yo, this thing is more important right now. But I do think that in relationships, regardless of where you are in the relationship, there's going to be a time where you have to compromise, especially when it comes to getting to know the other person, to understand what it is they want, what it is they need, what it is that they do. You can absolutely prioritize wanting to learn this person and be there for this person.
You're saying compromise. What I don't think you're understanding and you're missing is that compromise is a lot about intent. So let's say if my brother called me and said, hey, I need you to help me move, and I was about to go and do something.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm about to go and do something, if my intent is to say, okay, well, I'll just go and do it later since I got to go and help my brother, or it's like, well, whatever with that thing, I'm just gonna go help my brother. Like, it's intent. So you can be compromising just because of how you feel about actually doing the thing for the person. You know what I mean? So it's really intent. It's feeling. Like, compromise is not just, okay, you get a little and I get a little. No. It's really about intent. It's a mindset. It's not just this person gets this much and this, because it can be just splitting. It doesn't have to be compromising. It can be splitting it down the middle, or it can be do it later. Doesn't necessarily have to be the word compromise. You know, it can be whatever else. But if the intent is, okay, I'm in a service business because I love this person and I'm just going to do whatever I can for this person, then it's not compromising because you always want to do for this person. You know, and like I say,
we've had this conversation a couple different times.
Yeah, and I think we concluded I was right.
No, we absolutely did not conclude that you were right.
We did. We came to the conclusion.
Hi, Deldrick Parker, who says compromise is meeting in the middle.
But see, that's the thing. Meeting in the middle on something may still net you not getting what you want. You know, it may net you not getting what you want.
If you want this other person to have something or have a little bit of something and you have a little bit of something, then you get what you want.
I think compromising yields resentment.
It yields resentment.
It does. It
doesn't. How, like, you no, I no, and this is where everything fell off the rails, because we went into like an hour-long thing of like, how did we go from compromise to resentment? And that thought train was not a direct path. It was a whole lot of left turns with 3 rights in there that ended you up somewhere not even close to resentment. What happened? No.
Albuquerque. You made a left Albuquerque. No, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
I understand what you're saying, but I think that your issue is that you have an issue with the word compromise because of the negative connotation that it comes with. Everybody getting a little but losing something.
Yeah, but in the service business, nobody loses. Nobody loses. You know what I mean? Everybody gets what they want. Like, again, if I want to watch, like, even if it comes down to like I want to watch this movie and they want to watch this other movie and we want to go, like, look, this is what can happen. I love you, but I really want to see this movie. Why don't you just go to that movie and I go to this movie? To me, that's not a compromise. That to me, that's both people won. It's not a compromise. Nobody lost. That's what should happen. For example, I don't think it's a time that the people that you love should not get what they want. If it's possible. If it's possible.
Janae says, I can see both sides. Rachel says, I think that's a different take on it. It makes sense. Don't give Mike any points. He doesn't need it.
I don't need any points because I'll be over here dropping bars.
No,
bars.
You're absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we're about to wrap it up. Mike, you got anything that you would like to plug?
Yes. So Mike and Vince Perkins on Instagram, Mike and Vince Perkins on Facebook. Yes. We just dropped the latest episode. It was a reaction to a video by the guy everybody loves to hate, I guess now, Kevin Samuel.
That's it. I was like Kevin's.
Kevin Samuel, yeah. It was pretty fun. It got the people going.
Yes,
you know,
it's fun for you. Absolutely.
Right. I'm an antagonist. I do say, but it was a very good conversation. It was fun. So that's out now. I have it's Mike Perkins on IG and Twitter. And it's the podcast is My Punk Ass Podcast. The podcast I do with my brother is Opinions Are Like Podcast. On Twitter, it's ORL Podcast. There you go. You are on, girl.
I try to make sure that my guests are taken care of. Everybody know where to go and find all these things.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. And yeah, most of the podcasts are really like visual podcasts, so they're actually on Facebook because you get to see my face. You're welcome. And then I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm going to go through the comments carefully because I know that I've seen a lot of people come through here. Thank you so much to Rachel, to Janae, to Honey T, to Really TT, to Denise, to Kayla, to Drake, to Deldrick Parker, to I said Denise already. I think that's Kayla. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody. To Shonda, thank you so much for being on. We will be back next week, same time, on time this time. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna be on time. I said Sean. I said Sean's name. Thank you, Shauna, for being on. I know your work schedule sometimes you can't be here, but I appreciate you being here this time. But to those who are watching and did not comment, thank you to you as well. I appreciate everybody for being on. Thank you to Mike for being here. Make sure that you follow us on all social media at Take a Space Pod. That's Take a Space POD on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And we will see you next week. And if you haven't already, check out the episode 32, Take a Step Back to Take a Step Forward with Mike Perkins, wherever podcasts are found. Or you can just go to youtube.com/Champions of Discourse and find it on there.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Bye.